Okay. Um, I know. Ping. I'm aware. I was the one that put it there. Anyways, so I've worked on this quiz a little bit. I haven't gone that far in it. But yeah. So let's get to it. I'm gonna do what I remember. So over here is this one I'm the best at because this is my home state, Colorado. Um, Pueblo, Pueblo, and then Colorado Spring, and then there is the Centennial, right? Yeah, and then Denver, Aurora, then that is Lakewood, and then there's Arvada. I don't know why I have to do it in this specific order. Westminster, and Thornton. And then there's, what's that called again? Oh yeah, Boulder. And then there's Greeley. And then there's Fort Collins. Okay. Colorado's done. Okay, Utah, what do I remember? Of course, Salt Lake. And there's West Valley. And then West Jordan and Provo. And then St. George. And then I know here Rio Rancho. And then there's Albuquerque, which I do not know how to spell. But it'll do that for me. And then there's Las Cruces. Cruces. There we are. And then here, Nava or something. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about up there right now. So there's, of course, there's Las Vegas, and there's North Las Vegas. And then that would Alderson, Stairs, Sun, right? Hudster, Hudson, Hudster, Hudster, Hudster. Oh my god, what was it again? Adler, Adler. Is it Sun or Ton? I don't remember. Others? I don't. I can't remember. There's like Sprink or something. Brick. I don't know. And then there's that one like Narva. Neva. I can't remember. Okay. By the way, if I'm not getting like obvious dates like New York, that's like obvious things like New York City. That's because I'm doing this in a way where I'm just like clicking on like looking at a state and then just doing the state. And that's all I'm worrying about at the moment. So up here is Billings, Montana, Arizona. Okay, I remember a little bit. This is what I need to work on. So what I'm gonna do is right now I'm gonna name as much as I can. Then I'm gonna give up, but then I'm gonna start again. But I'm gonna keep on giving up and starting again, giving up and starting again until I completely do Arizona. But once I do that, I'm not gonna give up that time, and then I'm gonna do all the states that I know. I'll try to do all the states that I know. Before I get to that, I do want to recap on Nevada. So we're gonna press give up here. So is Henderson, of course, Hender. And then there's Henderson. I forgot Henderson, Reno, and Sparks. Okay. We're gonna start with that this time then. Reno, Sparks, Henderson. And then there's Las Vegas and North Las Vegas. And then there's and yeah. Okay. And now we're going to do this, but we're also gonna start with Vegas. I just wanted to make sure I could get all those. And then okay, we're gonna start with Tucson. And then there was Mesa, Phoenix, and that's all I can remember. I know there's more because I can see them, but the ones I missed was Chandler, Gilbert, Tempe, Scottsdale, Glendale, Peoria, Surprise, Buckeye, Goodyear. Once again, it was Chandler, Gilbert, Tempe, Scottsdale, Glendale, Peoria, Surprise, Buckeye, Goodyear. So we're gonna start with the ones we missed this time. Oh, there's one right there. Hold on. I didn't even remember that. Yuma. Okay. We're gonna start with Yuma then. Yuma, and then there's Buckeye, Goodyear, Peoria, and hey, there was a Gilbert. There was Hendler. Hendler, right? What was that again? I don't remember. And then Mesa, Phoenix, and then Tucson. Okay, that's all I can. Okay, we're gonna give up again. Okay, we have Chandler, Scottsdale, Glendale, Surprise. I should remember Surprise. It's just such a fun name. Glendler or something like that. Yeah. I already forgot. Hold on. It was Chandler. Why am I thinking Glender? Chandler. Okay, Chandler. And then there was Scottsdale. And then there was Glendale. And then Surprise. And then that one was Peoria. And there's Mesa. That was Gilbert. Tempe. Yuma. I don't want to forget that again. That was Buckeye. Did I get Goodyear yet? No. Good year. Um, Phoenix, and then Tucson. Finally, now we're gonna. I already forgot that one again. Nina. Flip. We're gonna have to restart again just because I forgot that one again. These ones again. So Reno Sparks. It's Reno. 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 Okay. We're gonna have to start with down here. So we have that was Chancellor, Chandler or something like that. Chandler, and then there was Tempe. And it was Mesa, Gilbert, Gilbert, I have to stop because I can't remember. I need to start with those. Okay. I'm gonna have to start with Reno. Okay. Start, and we're just gonna immediately type in Reno. Okay. Now we got Reno done. Alright. Alright. Okay, so there was Tucson. Then there was Blair. Chandler, and then there was Gilbert, and then there was Mesa, and then there was Scottsdale, Tempe, um, there was Glendale. Peoria. Yeah, there you are. And then it was Surprise. And then there was Goodyear. There was Buckeye. And then there was Yuma. Okay, and then holy cow. There was Sparks over here. Sparks. Put Sparks in there, right? Sparks. Okay, and then we got Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and then there was Henderson. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to New Mexico. I'm gonna do Rio Rancho and Alm Albuquerque. And then there's that was Sta Las Cruces, and then go up here and we can do Salt Lake, and then there's West Jordan, and then there's West Valley. I spelled Valley wrong. Valley, and then there was Provo, and then there's St. George. Okay, and then Colorado was Pueblo, Colorado Springs, Centennial, Denver, Lakewood, Arvada, Westminster, Thornton, and then Boulder, and then Greeley, Fort Collins. Alright, we got every single one there, and then there's billing up here. Billing. Okay. What state should I do next? I'm gonna do Idaho. So I don't know any Idaho. So Idaho has Nampa, Meridian, and Boise. Nampa, Meridian, Boise. Nampa, Meridian, Boise. So Nampa. Wait, I gotta give up. I keep on forgetting this. Reno. Alright. Nampa, Meridian, Boise. That's probably not how you pronounce them. But Nampa, Meridian, Boise. Then we got, and then, okay. Then we're gonna go over here. We're gonna do Reno. I finally remembered it. Reno, Sparks. I'm actually gonna start with North Las Vegas. I already messed up like 5,000 times. Wow. Vegas, Las Vegas, and then there's Henderson. There we are. Then we got Salt Lake, West Valley, and then there's West Jordan and Provo, and then St. George, and then over here we have okay, Pueblo, Colorado Springs, Centennial, and there's two T's. I only need one T. And then we got Denver, Aurora, and then there's Lakewood, Arvada, Westminster, Thornton, and then there is Boulder, Greeley, and Fort Collins. Okay. Now we're gonna go over here early, and then we're gonna do New Mexico. So we're gonna do Tucson, and then we're gonna do Chandler, and then we're gonna do Boulder, not Boulder. What am I talking about? And Gilbert. Then we got Mesa, and then we got Tempe and Scottsdale, and then there's Phoenix, and then there's Rhea and Glendale and Surprise. Surprise. Alright, and then Goodyear, Buckeye, and then there's Yuma. Okay, and then we got over here, we got Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, Albuquerque. Okay, so then we got Las Cruz, Las Cruces, and then Billings up here. Billings. Okay, I need to do a little recap right here. Nampa, Meridian, Boise. Nampa, Meridian, Boise. That's Reno, because I keep on forgetting about Reno. Alright. Do another big one here. We're gonna do Washington. Well, it's not as big as I thought, but still. Pretty big. So we got there's Sponkane, Spokane Valley, Spokane, Tacoma, Kent, Renton, Seattle. There's Bellevue, Everett, Spokane. So I'm just gonna say Spokane. And I can remember the valley for the one of them valleys. Spokane, Tacoma, Kent, Renton, Seattle, Bellevue, Everett. Spokane, Spokane, Spokane Valley. So Spokane Valley. Come on. Spokane Valley, and then there's Bell, and then there was a Kent. That's all I can. And then of course there's Seattle, and that's all I can remember. I already forgot everything. All right, so there Tacoma, Renton, Everett. Okay, we're gonna start with Tacoma, Renton, Everett. Tacoma, 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 Tacoma. Homoka, Homoka, Omeka. I already forgot what it was. So it is. Oh, it was just with a Z. Tacoma, Tacoma, Taco, ta, Tacoma. I need to zoom in. I need to get a bit. There was Tacoma. There was Everett. Okay, what were the other ones I forgot? So, Tacoma, Everett, Renton. Tacoma, Everett, Renton. Toco, Tacoma, Everett, Renton. And then there's Kent, Bellevue, and then the Seattle, and then there's Boke, Boko, Bokane, 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 something like that. Bokane, and Spokane, Spokane Valley. All right, and then over here was BOC, something. Boise. I already forgot the Idaho ones. So what were they again? They were Nampa, Meridian, and Nampa. That's what I forgot. So Meridian, Nampa. Okay, up here is okay, so then there was Homa, and then there was it was so I know Kent, Renton. Yes, it was Renton, Everett, and then there was Bellevue, and then there was Seattle, and then there's Spokane, and Spokane Valley. Is that all of them, or did I miss something? Yeah, that is that in. I can check that after I'm done with doing all the rest. Biole. Boile. Oh, I got that. What was that? Meridian. Tampa? Pa? Manta? Flip. I already forgot that. What was it? Boise. I put Boise, didn't I? I could have sworn I put Boise. Anyway. So, um, it was... Okay. Rope. Dude knows. Rope. Rope. Broken. Broken. I can't remember how to spell it. Spokane. Okay. Let's try. Let's try this again. So, Spokane. Spokane. Spokane Valley. And then there was Tacoma. And then Renton. And then there's Kent, Seattle, Bellevue, and Everett. Okay. Okay, I want to just see. Is there another Washington? I don't want to look at that right now. Okay. Okay, it was Bowie Day. Bowie Day. Bowie C. Bowie C. Keep on having to redo this because I keep on forgetting the Idaho ones. There's only 3. Alright. Everett. I'm gonna start from a different angle this time. Everett, Seattle, and then there's Bellevue, and then Renton, and then Kent, and then we're in Tacoma, and then Spokane, 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 Ane, Spokane Valley, Boise, Madarian, Dorian. Maybe it's Midorian? Hello. 100K US cities. So yeah, we're trying to name the US 100 US every US city that has a population over 100,000, like over 100,000. Um and I can't remember how to spell this one in Idaho, but but if you see any like big ones, they're like, why haven't you gone that? Like New York City, that I haven't gotten is because I'm doing like a certain pattern where I'm learning a state, it by state, and trying to ignore all other states until I get all that done. Anyone knows a lot of Idaho states? Which one? Which one is that? How do you spell that again? Meriden? Oh, I finally got it. Oh my god. All right. Got it. Okay. Um. Nampa? There we are. Okay. And then over here's billing. Billing. And then there's Reno. Reno. And then there's Sparks. I think that's Las Vegas. And then there's North Las Vegas. And then there's Henderson. Okay. So it's like West Valley and West Jordan. And then there's Provo. That's one St. George. There we are. Okay, and then I can get this one done pretty easily. Okay. Pueblo, Colorado Springs. And then yes, it is the hardest quiz I've ever done. Before I started trying to learn the cities, the hardest quiz I've ever done was which I still haven't 100% in, is like in normal mode. I've done it in practice mode in Sporkle, but Capitals of the World is the second hardest. This is definitely the hardest because I wanted to start getting in cities and I thought this would be a good start, but it was more difficult than I expected. So yeah, and that was Liquid. There, there, and then Bree, Greeley, and then Fort Collins. Okay. Hey, here we are. And then there's Rio Rancho. Yeah. Rio Rancho. Then there's what was it called again? Albuquerque. Why am I typing Pueblo? Las Cruces. Okay, over here is annoying. Okay, and then we got Tucson, uh, Handler, Gilbert, Mesa, okay, Tempe, and Scottsdale. And the, oh my goodness, what was it again? No, but it is a city, but it's not. And then there's Glendale, and then there's Surprise, and then Goodyear, and then it was Buckeye. Buckeye. That was, oh yeah, Yuma. And I first started practicing in Arizona until recently, like when I started live streaming. I didn't notice that there was a city there, so I was only naming these. It's a good thing I noticed that, and it's also a good thing that's easy to remember. Okay, we got all that. What state should I do next? I kind of want to do Oregon, but I kind of also want to do one that's easy, like just like name a single, like just name the capitals here. I'm saving California for very last, and right before that, I'm gonna do Texas, because those two are terrifying. Yeah, I could do Florida. Yeah, let's do that. Cause this I kind of got a upper hand over here because I know because it's easier for me to remember a lot of the names because I live in that region. But yeah, over here I don't really know how to pronounce any of the names here. Okay, so what we're gonna start by doing, we're gonna give up here and then we're gonna look at the names. We got Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Gainesville, Palm Coast, Orlando, Lakeland, Tampa, Clearwater, St. Petersburg. Isn't that in Russia? And there's Palm Bay, Cape Coral, Port St. Lucie. Is that how you pronounce that? Or is it Lucia? Luki. I don't know. West Palm Beach. Holy cow. I want to get real in there. What is that? Can I zoom in more? No. So, okay, then we got West Palm Beach, or Coral Springs, Campano Beach, Davie, Hollywood. Holy cow. Mir, Miramar, Davie. I can't even read them. Miami, Miami Gardens, Gila, Miami. Can't even see all of them because. Hold on. I need to get closer to the screen, which means you might not be able to hear me for a second. Okay, I know it's read it now. We can go over. I don't know if I can gonna be able to show all of them at first, but like I'm gonna go over them before I start the quiz one more time, and then we're going to slowly learn Florida, which is probably actually a good idea because I've been kind of the only like somewhat big one other than this I've done is Colorado, which I kind of had an upper hand with because I live in Colorado, but still, yes, it's still definitely more than Colorado. Um, so let's go through it one more time. So there's Tallahassee, 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 Jacksonville, Gainesville, Palm Coast, Orlando, Lakeland, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Palm Bay, Orange, St. Lucie, I think, West Palm Beach, Cape Coral, Coral Springs, Pompano Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Davie. There's something in there right there. Pembroke Pines, Hollywood, Miami Gardens, Hialeah, Miami. Is that it? Yeah. My goodness gracious, here we are. Here we go. I'm not gonna remember like a good chunk of those at first, but let's see what I do remember. I'm gonna actually start with just going over one more time, but only as top. So Tallahassee, Gainesville, blah, blah. Jacksonville, Palm Coast, Orlando, Lakeland, Tampa, Clearwater, St. Petersburg. Okay. Alright, start quiz. So Tallahassee? Tallahassee is Jackson. Oh, I got a different Jackson. Jacksonville. And then there was Palm Beach. Beach. No, maybe it was Palm Bay. It was Palm Bay. And then there was. Let's see, what do I remember here? I feel like I should remember that one, but I don't. Oh, clear is a clear water. Oh, there was a Hollywood here. For some reason. Miami. Davie, whatever. And then Saint Lucie? Was it New Saint or was it Bay Saint Lucie? Beat Saint Lucie. I can't remember it. I feel like I should know more down there now. I'm pretty sure there was a Miami Garden. Yes, there was a Miami Gardens. I should know more, shouldn't I? Okay, we're gonna give up here. I just made a plan in my head while I was thinking. So let's imagine there's a line from like this little point right here. Or imagine there's a line from this little point right here to, let's say, that point right there. We're gonna start with learning all the ones on this. Well, there's a line right there to there, dividing into two sections, and there will be another line from here to like right there, dividing that into sections. So I'll learn this clump, everything above it until here, and then everything above that will be like, those will be like different sections for what I'm learning. I'm gonna start up here because that will be, because I feel like dividing up this will be like, wait, is there, I don't even want to imagine how much I'm gonna have to divide up California, but anyways, start quiz. Dang it, I didn't actually look at anything, so need to get my memory ready. Tallahassee, Gainesville, Jacksonville, Palm Coast, Orlando, Lakeland, Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Clearwater. Tallahassee, Gainesville, Jacksonville, Palm Coast, Orlando, Lakeland, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater. Okay, so Tallahassee, Tallahassee, Orlando, Gainesville, Jacksonville, Jacksonville, and then there's Palm Coast, and then there was Clearwater, there was a Tampa, St. Petersburg, St. Petersburg, and then I need to figure out what that one is, and then we got that this first section learned. All right, this one is Lakeland. Okay, I feel like I should have gotten that, but I'll start with it. Okay, Lakeland, and then there was Tampa, 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 and then there's St. Petersburg, and then there was there's Clear Water, Gainesville, Gainesville, Jack, Jackson, Jacksonville, um, the Tallahassee, Tallahassee. What were those two again? And there was the Orlando. Okay, Orlando. Lauderdale. Then that was Lakeland. Um, Pampa. Then there was St. Petersburg. Um, St. Petersburg. Clearwater. Coast. And then there was Orlando. No, that was not Orlando. That's Gainesville. And Jacksonville. Jacksonville, right? Jacksonville. Jacksonville. Gracious. Okay, and then there was tall, 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 ahasi, and then there we go. That's this section completed. Yeah. Now we're gonna press the give up button. Alright. We are going to learn this last section of Florida. So from like here to the so like these cities. And then make sure I have these cities too. Then we are going to end the stream. Palm Bay, Port St. Lucie, West Palm Beach, and Cape Coral. Palm Bay, Port St. Lucie, West Palm Beach, Cape Coral. West Beach, and then we got Port St. Palm Bay, and then right there is Coral Coast, Coral Bay. What was it? It was Coral something. It was Cape Coral. Okay. I should have started with Cape Coral. Cape Coral West Beach um uh Bay Port St. Lucie Petersburg. And there's Clearwater. And then there's Pampa, Lakeland, Orlando, Coast. Then there's Jackson. Then what was that again? That was Gainesville. And then there's Tallahassee. Okay. Alright. we're gonna be doing this last little section probably next stream. I don't know if I'll ever make it into a video. I might make it into a video once I've done it all and I can like do a compilation. But yeah. Okay. I know it doesn't show here, but I've learned Idaho. I learned Idaho, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Washington, Montana. Hi. Okay, we're gonna. By the way, we're ending pretty soon, but that's fine. Cause but we have. But next time you should probably come next time though, because if you look here, we've got next time we are going to do this area of Florida. We're kind of dividing up Florida because it's kind of difficult. But yeah, I'm gonna round this up here, so. How many states? Hold on, I'm gonna have a doc on a different screen. So, okay. Hold on, we're gonna open up doc. I'm gonna set something up real quick. So we got a count here. How many states actually have any in them? So, well, actually, we're gonna start by counting how many don't. So, Wyoming doesn't. Maine doesn't. Vermont doesn't. West Virginia doesn't. Delaware doesn't. Done. Done. F5. I found 5 so far. Okay, now is there any more that do not have a single city that fits the criteria? No. Oh. 5, so 45 states. And then there's Washington's, which I'll do. We'll just do something with Washington. We have done. So we have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've done 8. Means we've done 8 and 8 and 1/3. So, that means that we have completed 18.52% of the states that actually have them. Like over 1,000, 100,000 or more population cities. Kind of surprised Vermont and Maine don't, but whatever. Yeah, we're counting Washington and something else, which means we've gone pretty far. So yeah, you want to see more? If this quiz is on Jetpunk, is called every 100k plus city in the United States on a map. It is this it is made by Jeremy. So yeah, made by Jeremy. What I've been don't worry about that, but this is what I've been using to learn this. Yeah, if you wanna watch it, if you wanna like, uh, you you can put on notifications if you subscribe to me. You turn on notifications. Also, I have a Discord. You can join, and it will also ping you to the Discord if you choose to when you join the Discord. And but yeah, so and you can find the Discord on my channel page. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Um, I don't really have a schedule of streams. Usually I won't do streams on days that I upload, but sometimes I will. But you can look at my schedule. Don't look at my short schedule because it's incorrect. Yeah, I have it on Discord and I have it on a post. You can look at my schedule. To see like just if I'm posting a day on that day, I probably won't be streaming, so you can kind of get the idea, but it's still kind of random. But yeah, you'll get pinged if you join the Discord and you choose to be pinged if you want to see this again. So watch this and you'll work on this live. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, bye.